just a couple bad weather fans representing New York, talking all things sports. Man, what could go wrong? We got Alex, who's a fan of the Knicks, and Mike of the Nets. The yin-yang of the tri-state, place your bets on the Yankees, Giants, Mets, or Jets. Yeah, you should listen if it's sparking your interest. If you made a vow to your team, don't break it. Bad weather fans is the relation.
That's right. This is Bad Weather Fans, episode number 214. Mike Biseglia, Alex Benesowitz, and the New York Knicks fall tonight to the Miami Heat, 109-99. Meanwhile, over in Brooklyn, the Nets don't even exist. They have been a disaster of late. And bad news for Knicks fans, the Indiana Pacers play the Nets again coming up. So sorry for y'all as you roll your eyes, and I don't blame you, Alex. And for people that want to see that, go check us out on YouTube, Bad Weather Fans. And we've explored and dipped our toe into the TikTok game. Check out Bad Weather Fans on TikTok. Get exclusive BWF content. Nets stink. We'll get there in a second. Knicks fall to the Miami Heat, 109-99. Knicks made it interesting. Got really close there in the fourth quarter. Got it within one, but then the Heat pull away late. Scary Terry hit some big shots, and the Heat get the win. Alex, good evening. How are you?
I'm doing well. Yeah, Knicks lose their third in a row. Fall to the fifth seed behind the Magic. Now they're only a game up on the Pacers in the sixth seed. Both the Magic and the Pacers have the tiebreaker on the Knicks. The Heat, I think, are seventh seed, right? But not sure about that. But I'm pretty sure they are.
They're the 7 and the Sixers with Embiid back.
Right,
get a win, which would be a very fascinating 7-8 seed. But anyway, yes.
Okay, well, the Knicks have the tiebreaker on the Heat. I'm not sure about the Sixers. I don't know what the tiebreaker is there, but so that's tough. But Knicks have the Kings at home on Thursday, which is not going to be an easy game. It's the season needs to end. We need the Knicks are limping to the playoffs. OG and Randall, the breadcrumbs of updates that keep coming in just are never clear. It's just They're not back. I'm done. I tweeted out this week at Knicks Central on Twitter or X. I'm done caring about their little updates every 2 days of what's going on. And I know we talked about it on here. It's a little hypocritical, I guess you could say. Like, the Knicks need updates. I want like real updates, not like, well, he he's going through it and he's gonna do his best, and he needs to be right because this is the style of play he plays, and blah blah blah. Oh, give me a break. Let me know when he's coming back. You know what I mean? That's all I need to know. Stop with this nonsense, and then we'll go from there. And the Mets suck, so that's another thing that's annoying. But anyway, so go ahead.
Yeah, well, it's kind of weird with the Knicks on two fronts on their injuries. Yeah. And also to note, the Bucks weird loss tonight to Washington, and while we're recording this, the Cavs are up 20 in Utah. Again, that who the hell knows in the NBA, but just keeping up
Jazz suck.
Up to
Jazz
date
suck.
on that.
Genius Danny Ainge as a shitty Jazz team. Just so
well, it's early in their rebuild. I'm not gonna. You and I
last year, everybody was crowning him, and
right,
now this year he sucks.
Enough.
Yeah, exactly.
We're gonna do an hour on Danny Ainge.
Danny Ainge and his one championship is the greatest GM of all time in 20 years.
Hey,
but yeah, whatever. Anyway,
we both take one title in 20 years. For the love of God,
I would, but I wouldn't put the GM on a pedestal as the greatest ever.
I'm just gonna continue to talk because the Danny Ainge thing's boring.
Kiss my ass. Yeah.
Well, the two injuries are interesting for the Knicks because they're very different. Julius Randle's been out for a couple of months now, and we don't really have a true update on what's going on, and they've been totally dismissive in letting you know anything that's happening with him. Anunoby's a little more interesting because I would think there'd be a little more hope only because he was out, even though the report then was strange and how they handled it. Was out, came back, and now he's out again.
Right.
At least you've seen that he can come back from this injury. Weird spot though for him, and just two, if they do come back, we all know how it's going to be. Woj will tweet in the morning, he's questionable, and then they'll be back. There's not going to be any progression. I'll use Kevin Durant as an example because of the net injuries, right? And unfortunately for my time with KD, this happened a lot. There was at least one a year of these kind of injuries, these bigger injuries. And it was always, he was hurt. We were scared. The diagnosis came in. And then when he was a couple of weeks away, they would tell you. And it was 8 to 10 weeks or whatever it would be. This is, remember the initial one? Randall will let you know in the reevaluation in 3 weeks. That was 2 months ago, 2.5 months ago. I if I was a betting man on this, I don't think he's coming back. I mean, I'm not saying I wouldn't. This is not hater Mike. This is just, it just doesn't feel like he could be. But like I said before, I wouldn't then be shocked if, and that one game versus the Bulls, because you're playing him 8 times to end the season, that he's available. Wouldn't be shocked. But I definitely would lean that he's not going to be there. I mean, I think I don't know how you could think differently. Josh Hart thinks that.
Yeah, and I think Josh Hart stole my idea for my tweet because my tweet went viral in the morning, and that night is when he made that comment. But I'll just think that, even if it's not true.
He might. But, you never know.
Yeah, you never know. Roommate's podcast follows me, so maybe he saw it.
We'll have to talk about that a little later too. I will address something.
Mike embarrassed me on April Fool's Day. Yes.
Well, it's a whole complicated story. We'll get
talk
to
about
that.
it.
Yes,
and we'll get to more Nets talk. I have some fun Nets questions for Mike, so we'll get to that too.
Oh,
so
great!
Hang in there. So most recent Julius Randle update was today from Stephen Bondi. Well, it was Tom Thibodeau, on Julius Randle, and he said it was his most expansive yet. He goes, this is a quote from Thibs. The thing for him is that he's got to keep working every day until he gets to the point where he feels confident that he can take the contact that he's accustomed to. When you look at his game and the way he plays, you don't want him to change his style of play. And I think that's important. And so keep doing what you're doing. You have to have a belief that it will turn, which I do. Maybe it's tomorrow. Maybe it's the day after. Who knows when it is? End quote. Like, what the hell is that?
Can I tell you what that was?
Yeah.
When did this quote come out?
Today, before the game.
Yeah. So earlier in the day, Tom Thibodeau went to ChatGPT and he said, write me an answer of what to say when the reporters ask how long Julius Randle will be out. And he typed it in. And then he had a prompt of, let me sound sympathetic, in control, with no follow-ups. And that's what he answered with. I mean, that sounds like ChatGPT spit it out.
And impeccable notes by Stephen Bondi, too, to get that perfectly and perfect punctuation. He definitely recorded it and then typed it out.
Yeah, I think so.
And then the most recent update for OG Anunoby I have from yesterday on April 1st, whenever, you're listening to this. So maybe 2 days ago. OG Anunoby is listed as out for tomorrow's game against the Heat, 8th consecutive game he'll miss. And then he responded to that tweet, quote tweeted his own tweet and said, the Knicks are now listing Anunoby's injury as right elbow tendinopathy. They had previously called it injury management, quote unquote, and said he was dealing with inflammation in the elbow. So it's just getting worse. He's done. They're both done. Like, it's just enough. Both Randle and OG Anunoby are done. We need to stop praying they're going to come back. If they come back, great. But they're done. It's it. The news is not getting better. Use your brain and not your fan heart. OG Anunoby had elbow injury. He was day to day. They had a secret surgery. Didn't tell anybody. All of a sudden, he's done. And then he comes back. And then he's hurt again, holding his elbow for every game when he was back. And now he's gone again. He came back too soon. He's done. Randle is not getting better. He's done. Get the surgery. It's over. Just get to the playoffs, and this is our team, and let's rock. That's it.
All right. Well, I did a prompt.
I'm tired of it, Mike. I'm tired of it.
I did a prompt with ChatGPT, and I want to see how my answer sounds compared. Okay. But I didn't like my prompt as much, so I have to make
do Tim Thibodeau. Yeah,
yeah, I did. But
let's hear it.
All right.
Now you're losing it.
Did you lose it? All right. Okay, here we go. Are you ready?
Yep.
All right, it's typing it out. So give me a second. All right, so ask the question. Pretend to be the
I'll be Stephen Bondi.
Yeah,
or Beffin Standi.
Yeah, go for it. This is ChatGPT. Let's see which one's better. I haven't read this yet.
Hey, Coach, do you have an update on Julius Randle's injury status?
Well, as the head coach of the Knicks, it's understandable that there are situations where I might not be able to provide clear answers regarding the Julius Randle injury status. Regarding the Randle injury, I understand the concern and the curiosity surrounding it. However, at this time, I don't have any updates to share. Our medical team is diligently working with Julius to assess his injury and determine the best course of action. As a team, we prioritize health and well-being of our players above all else. But we are here for Julius Swift return to the court. We must also respect the process and give him the time and space he needs to fully recover. In the meantime, we have a deep roster of talented players who are ready to step up and contribute in Julius' absence. We remain focused on the games ahead and will continue to compete at the highest level, regardless of who is on the court. I ask for your patience and understanding as we navigate through this situation. And rest assured that as soon as we have an update regarding Julius' injury status, we'll share them with you at the appropriate time.
Wow, that does sound professional. That was really
Yeah,
good.
that
And
was ChatGPT.
I was laughing
I
at the
swear to God
process
that
thing.
I fully believe if you take this and compare it with the Bondi quote,
Yeah.
you tell me which one was real.
Yeah. It sounds like, either Tibbs researched that or the Knicks media team went to Tibbs and said, read this
Oh
or
yeah,
memorize this.
yeah, totally.
I don't think Tibbs is searching anything besides basketball practice videos. But
Okay,
yeah,
all right, I trust you on that. I
I
feel
don't
like
know what
we've
he
done.
does.
Feel like we've done this before.
I feel like we have too. Yes,
Yeah, it
yes.
sounds like I'm having deja vu on Coach Thibodeau Google search.
So the Nets season is over. I mean, I think their
Yeah,
tragic
almost.
number is one, right?
Can't wait for.
There was
Honestly, I'm just waiting for it to be over.
yeah.
Feel
Well, it's
good about
over.
it. Yeah,
You
no,
know
you know
it's
what I mean.
over.
Yeah, yes, it's
I
over.
want you to. I'm going to set a timer, and I want you to give me a 30-second obituary on the 2024 Nets in 2 seconds.
You're just putting me on the spot, by the way. So
I'm
I
putting
don't
you
have
on the
anything.
spot.
I have nothing planned.
That's what
Can I
makes
go
it
back
more
to
fun.
Chat GPT?
No, this has got to be. Just let me know when you're ready. Okay.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay. All right. Ready and go.
The 2020. Try it again.
Start
Three,
over.
two,
Okay.
one.
Yeah.
I'm
Wait.
not editing that
No,
because
that's
yeah,
funnier
you
this
get
way
to hear it.
anyway.
Yeah. The 2024 Nets were a disaster. They came out strong, started 13-10. We were duped by a man named Ben, but the Nets actually played well with him early in the season. Jacques Vaughn, for some reason, decided at 13-12 to rest his players versus the best team in the East at the time in the Bucks. It failed. From there, the Nets, I think, went 13-40. Good night.
5 seconds left.
Be sure to tip your waitress.
Okay. Very good. Very good.
I mean,
Now, one
yeah,
more. One more. Now, I want you to give me a 30-second pep talk for the 2025 Nets.
that's not. I don't know how to do that.
Just what for the offseason coming up. Okay.
Um,
Ready? And
Alex,
you got to play.
I don't know if I can.
Give
I
me
mean,
a
I'm that.
positive spin.
I
You can do
can't
it.
lie. I can't lie. I love the question and I love what you're doing, but I don't know how to.
Just
I'm
give
so
me your most positive outlook on the Nets coming up.
all
Ready?
right. So I'm Nets. So I'm pretending to be Nets daily. Okay, here we go.
And go.
Sorry, Bob. Um, Cam Thomas has averaged 26.8 points per game in the month of March. He's actually looked like a really good all-around basketball player, averaging 4 assists and 4 rebounds as well. You feel good about that. Noah Clowney will get more reps and minutes as he's developed into his second year in the league. You hope that Mikal Bridges is a little less burned out and gets a little break and can come back strong. And then knock on wood, unfortunately, the only way this team's going to turn around, because they're not going to actually do a real rebuild that we know, is that they trade for Donovan Mitchell. And then from there, it triggers the Nets to have a better season. It's funny is
That's
the
time.
obituary, I was like trying to be a little more sad and I went under the time. Then you got me to be spin
Positive.
Spin Master Mike, and actually went over the time. But I mean, again, like they're not going to do a real rebuild. I've said this before. The Nets are acting like the old Knicks. We're just gonna wait for the star. So let's say Donovan Mitchell doesn't come. Let's say they do pull it off. Okay, the Nets are gonna be better. Let's say they don't. They're gonna be awful again. I mean, how are they? Cam Thomas is 22, so you hope that he gets a little better. But after that, you look at the roster, and it's just.
You just have to blow it up if they're
How are they
going to
win games? They're going to be
just trade
at least they have
everything.
the draft.
Yeah.
At least they have all these draft picks now. I mean, that'll help with the Suns picks, the Mav picks, their own pick. So that'll be encouraging, but that doesn't help in the short term.
Right.
So if they don't blow it up and they don't get Donovan Mitchell, they're just going to suck. How can they're going to suck? Unless Cam Thomas takes some sort of insane leap, which is he's good, but he's not good enough. I mean, no, they're going to suck. They suck.
And why would Donovan Mitchell want to leave Cleveland, where he's complaining about them being out of sorts in April? The recent quote that he came out with, and go to the Nets. when they suck. The whole reason why the Nets got the stars, so the Nets think, not because of Durant's injury, like I think, but they got the stars because they built the culture, quote unquote. And the stars want to go to a team that's on the up and up. They don't want to go to a team that sucks.
No, I'd be
That's why the
shocked if
Knicks
they got
weren't
him.
getting stars, right? I mean, that was the
Yeah.
logic. So why would the
Yeah.
net? This is the Nets fan logic I'm giving you. So like, I'm flipping it. And why would they get Donovan Mitchell? Why would he want to go there?
I don't know.
Yeah.
It seems like it would be a small percentage chance. I mean, I don't
Mhm.
think he wants to stay in Cleveland. The more and more I hear things about
The
it,
only thing is
just 'cause-
coming home is the only thing. That's the
yeah,
only
I
thing.
mean,
But
that's
like,
really it. And he's
yeah,
friends with Mikal. I mean,
right.
that's really it. After that, I mean, I think the Nets, I think the biggest question mark for the Nets where they really need to get this shit together is who they hired as the head coach. I think that says a
Right.
lot about what will happen. They need to, like, this reminds me when I was a kid, and then I think it was 95 or 96 or whatever. They hired John Calipari. Like they need to go out and get a Jay Wright. They need to get somebody like that. I'm not saying it because of the Villanova thing. I just they need to make a splashy hire. It can't. I
An
think they got to go
established
all
name.
out.
They need an
They
established
need a
name.
real coach, right? Like they need to go out there. And I'm not trying to say. I mean, if Kevin Ollie were to keep the job, he had to like get this team. It's not whatever. They
I got a
stink.
name for you. I got a name for you. A real name.
Budenholzer.
No. My name is somebody I've wanted the Knicks to hire
Well, let me
in
guess.
the past.
I like the guessing game. It's always
Okay.
fun.
Go ahead.
Someone for the Knicks to hire in the past.
He's never been a head coach before, but he's been an assistant.
See, I think they need to hire a name.
This is a name.
A name that's never been a head coach but has been an assistant.
Yep.
Interesting. In the East, is he in the league right now?
He's in the league right now.
Eastern Conference?
Eastern Conference.
Teams in the playoffs.
Team is in the playoffs.
Top 8.
Top, I don't know where he is, but they're in the playoffs.
No,
well, yeah, they're in the top 8. Yes.
Yes, they're in the top 8. So, Sam Cassell?
Yep.
I don't know.
X-Net, big mouth, can handle New York, been here, been around the block, won championships as a player, paid his dues as an assistant. He's now with the Celtics as an assistant. He was with the Clippers. He was with the Sixers. He's won on every team there. Obviously not won a championship as an assistant, but that doesn't matter. This guy is going to be a great head coach. And I don't know why he hasn't gotten a job yet. It's just a matter of time, in my opinion. He is a net. It's perfect for the Nets. Honestly, I thought it'd be perfect for the Knicks because, like, I wasn't a big fan of Thibs, but I knew once they gave him talent, he would play well. But whatever, that's not about the Knicks. The Nets, perfect coach, Sam Cassell, my opinion.
I don't know enough about Cassell as an assistant. I mean, they're all. It's
Well, you
it's
know
a-
about
it's
him
a
as a
guess.
person, as a player.
Yeah, I like
he can
Sam.
talk. He's a
I mean-
point guard. Point guards are good coaches. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I mean, it's a guess. I mean, it's just a
Yeah,
guess.
it is.
It's
It
a
is.
guess.
But it's a name. It's a name. It's not like somebody-
I would like a guy that's been established.
okay.
And has coached and has won in the league. I think it's important. Now, I know Jay Wright has not done that, but he has won at the
Right.
collegiate
He's
level.
respected by the players in the league. For
They
sure.
need, I think they just need a really big hire. And to me, to answer your Donovan Mitchell question, now they start turning this around. That's the route they go. They got to go big. That's got to go big this offseason. In that regard. I mean, that's because it's so frustrating.
Why don't they just hire Rick Pitino? Wasn't that like Donovan Mitchell's coach in college?
Who
was his coach in college?
Yeah, I think at Louisville. No, I don't.
He's already in town. Just take him away from St. John's. St. John's would fold.
Could you imagine that? Oh my! How bad would that be? That would be
St.
terrible.
John's. St. John's would be over. That would be the end of St. John's if he just leaves after all of that. But yeah, no, I agree. I agree. I just think Sam Cassell would be the only assistant that I would hire, somebody like that, because he's been around the block. But I think Budenholzer is a good one. But I don't think players respect him. I think there's something about him that didn't mesh. But I don't know who the guy is.
I don't know. That'd be interesting.
Let's see who's like
It's
the most.
Jay Wright. Jay Wright would be great.
Yeah,
I mean, because he's one. You know where the narrative would go next. All of a sudden, that pendulum would shift the other way, and Josh Hart on his podcast would have to. Let me address that as you look that up. Can I talk about this?
Oh, Mike D'Antoni, that'd be perfect, right?
Okay, stop it. Okay, let me just address this. So, I got a text message from Evan Roberts. I got a screen. I got a look
On
like
April 1st.
on April 1st. He texted me what was a DM, a Twitter DM, where it said the roommates were asking the roommate show were wanting to get net fans on to hear their side of the rivalry, and on it had a censor on the name and number of the producer. Who yeah. So I think's Matt Hillman, who's there. I don't know. Well, I guess
he's a host. Yeah,
he's a host, and I don't
but he
know
runs the thing. He runs the whole.
I don't know who's
podcast.
technically the producer. So Evan texts me this screenshot, so it looks like it's coming directly to his phone or to his DMs. So in my mind, I'm like, this is real. I then maybe go on Twitter 30, 40 minutes later, and it's the Nets SpongeBob account. And they're poking fun because in there they call it what did Josh Hart, Carl Mikal Bridges,
Squidward, whatever that character is on
so
SpongeBob.
in that, so now it's the Nets account, the SpongeBob account. He does an amazing job with like SpongeBob memes for the net games.
10,000 followers. He's doing his thing.
Yeah, writes in. He has the same exact message.
Screenshot.
So I'm like, oh, I guess he got one too. And then 3 seconds later, I thought to myself, wait a minute, that's the same exact message with the way the way the name is censored. So then
what happened in that time that you were fooled?
I was fooled, but I was fooled because of Evan.
But what did you do? What did you ask me? Ask me
in between that time, I said, reach out.
You said, hey, Alex, can you reach out to the Roommates podcast
and get me on? You? I wanted to get on.
And so me and Mike wrote this whole thing of how great of a Net fan Mike is and how he'd be perfect for this role and whatever they were going to do. And I sent it to him, to the Roommates podcast, and I sent it to Matt Hillman. And then a few minutes later, Mike says, oh, wait, Evan told me he was busting my balls on April 1st.
No, Evan never told me anything. I haven't heard from Evan since. Evan's embroiled in WFAN controversy.
Yeah, he's just wrote a book. He'll buy his book.
Yeah,
whatever.
Buy his book. I haven't heard from him, and I kind of don't want to text him back. Like I feel like he owes.
But I was the one who got embarrassed because I had to go back to the Roommates and Matt Hillman and say, never mind, I got fooled at April Fools. Ha 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 ha. They never responded.
Right, because and now not that. I mean, I guess I do care.
Yeah,
it just makes us look stupid.
Right,
because it was like, wow, you fell for the SpongeBob account. No offense, I'm saying
we fell for the Evan Roberts text.
Because the way he phrased it was like this was to him. But
he was definitely busting your balls. He was busting your balls. Yeah,
and I fell for it. Then I got duped later on at another account on something, and I sent it to somebody, and then they were like, "Did you really believe this?" Yeah. So and you can hear about that mishap. That's somewhere else. But
was that what Gio was talking about on the radio?
Yes, that was me. If 6:45, you go back in the morning.
I heard that. I heard about Justin Jefferson.
No, the one before it about Dua Lipa.
Oh, that I missed that part, but I heard.
Yeah, if you rewind it.
Yeah,
that was me. I sent him like Dua Lipa's dating this guard from Kansas, and then he goes, "Do you really believe this?" I did. So I got duped again. Pissed me off, man. I'm usually good.
Oh man.
Yeah. So anyway, I wanted to tell that story.
So I'm trying to pull up together some names and see what you would think.
You're like in the Knicks are in this title chase, and you're just obsessed with net assistant coaches now.
No, I want you to see what you think.
I want Thibs. I want Thibs.
You should hire Atkinson.
You know what we got to bring back?
Who's that?
Do you remember we did this last year? What was it? The Knicks. No, hold on. It originally started with the Nets. It was your scarometer. Zero, like what's your net scarometer now? Like 0, obviously.
-10.
But Harden, Kyrie, Durant, height of it when they actually looked decent. What were you at? Like a 9.5?
Yeah, it was up there. It was getting up there. Yeah.
Right. And then we switched it over to the Knicks because now the Knicks are the team that is in the hunt per se. The Nets obviously not. So I think, is it time to bring back the Knicks scarometer as we're now concluding with 7 games left?
With them as the injuries and the losses
right,
amount?
with my perspective of them.
Okay, let's do it. So what's yours now?
I'm at a 6.
You're at a 6. Okay.
Yeah,
As of
they
before the 3-game losing streak, you were probably at a what?
a 6.5, 7. I'm
Really?
not
Oh, the
as
injuries
the
are
injuries
going.
have kept me from being fully believing in them. And
Mm-hmm.
I know Nick fans will be like, how great they've been, but in a 7-game series to
Yeah.
last versus the Celtics or the Bucks, I just don't know if it's possible. Like
Right.
realistically, in a 7-game series without those guys, how are you dealing with Giannis for a best out of 7? I just don't. How are you dealing with Tatum? And then I think, um, I think Knicks Magic would be a really good fun series, and I think Knicks Cavs would be a really fun series. I just don't know. Like if you lose some of your best players, this is not a Knicks thing. It's just I don't know how you can last. How can you like in a best of
Mm.
7 series? You're going to be like, I believe Dante DiVincenzo is going to score 30 a game and provide that second option for best for 7. I don't know if that's realistic or fair to him.
Yeah.
He's played well. He's played really well.
I hear you. I hear you. Okay, so I have a list of a few coaches that
You want to talk Nets? I want to talk
I
Knicks.
want to give you. I want to get the Nets fan involved, and I'm actually interested in this. So, coaches that the Nets can hire, right? I just went through a list of coaches with 400 games or so on Wikipedia, and I wrote down some
Okay,
names. So
these guys are free agents in a sense.
yes, and guys that have coached, and I feel like there's maybe 3 that you'd be okay with, and one big time college coach. Okay, so we have PJ Carlesimo. No, I'm just kidding. Avery Johnson.
Been
Okay,
there, been there.
jokes are done.
He was doing calling games for the tournament.
Is he? I don't know that.
I
Oh
heard his
yeah,
voice.
yeah. His voice is very distinct, Avery Johnson.
Yeah.
Dwayne Casey.
No.
Maybe too old, right? No.
No, I think isn't he in the Pistons front office?
Oh,
Front
maybe
office?
he may be.
I think he's
I
like
have no
running
idea.
things a little bit. Mhm.
Okay. Steve Clifford.
No.
No. I don't know how to pronounce his last name, and you're gonna laugh at me because we've done this before. Dave
Jaeger, yes. So
Jaeger.
yeah, he was
The
I like
Grizzlies,
that
right? He was
name.
the Grizzlies coach back in the day.
That name interests me a little bit.
Okay.
Sure.
Sam Mitchell.
Nah, I think it's just been so
Too
long.
long.
It's
So
just
that'll
like
be the
it's a
answer
good
for this
game.
one. Jeff Van Gundy. No. Right.
No.
Stan Van Gundy.
No.
Okay. Luke Walton.
No.
Mike Woodson.
Yes. That would
Really?
interest me more than anybody so far. Yeah.
Really? Okay. And then the big time college coach comes out of college to finally come to the NBA, Tom Izzo.
I know the guy who could. Yeah. I mean, if he would ever do it, I mean, he wouldn't leave. Is
No.
Dan Hurley?
Ooh,
I mean,
that's a
he
good
would be
one.
amazing. He'd be great.
Yeah, he's
But
got spunk.
I don't know his. I
No,
mean,
well, why
he
would he
is.
want to leave UConn?
This is. I like. Hmm. You know what? I love his quotes when he's like talking about the fan base. He's like, "Yeah, we have the most annoying fans, and I'm sure
Mhm.
everybody hates it." That's what the Nets need, man.
They need
That
Rex Ryan. They need Rex Ryan to come
Yes.
in.
Yes.
We're not going to kiss the Knicks rings that they don't have, right? Like that kind of
Exactly.
thing. Yeah.
Exactly. Don't kid. Well, not that they. I mean, it's been
They
a
have
minute.
2 rings. I mean, they do have
Yes.
2 rings.
Yes.
But it's not the same as him saying we're not going to kiss Belichick's rings, who is like the current coach that's won a million
Right.
Super Bowl. Right. It's not the same.
Right.
It doesn't
Yes.
have the same.
No, these rings happened 51 years ago. Not counting.
Right. Right. Oh man. So that's it. I don't know. So Jaeger is your choice. That's the next coach.
No, we're going.
Or Mike Woodson.
Dan Hurley.
Mike Woodson.
I wish Doc Rivers was out there. I love Doc. I do. I like Doc a lot.
Seriously? Okay.
Yeah, I think Doc doesn't get enough credit.
What about Adrian Griffin? They just fired him. I mean, with the Bucks.
Well, the issue there was they had. Let me see.
He's got a better record than Doc Rivers. I mean,
yeah, but he's not. Doc Rivers is respected,
right?
And
He's not a made man. He's not a made man.
There's a reason why 3 months in the job they were like, he can't handle this. He's
right,
a nice guy, but
they're winning on talent alone. Yeah, something's off.
You can get by with Giannis, Lillard, Middleton.
It's like Paul Westhead with the Lakers. Like he won a championship, and then like halfway to the season, like Magic Johnson's like, get this guy out of here.
Right, guys. I mean, the
Yeah.
guys know.
Or maybe
I
not even
mean,
half, like a month into the season. He was like,
right,
I had
guys
enough of this
know. I mean,
fucking guy.
guys know if they can.
Yeah.
Like, as much as people might be like, "Oh, I don't like Tibbs." I mean, he can command a locker room, and he's competent, very competent at what he's doing. Now you
He's
gonna
not
get
gonna. He
into the
can't outcoach
debate.
Spoelstra, as we saw tonight.
Not
Spoelstra's
many
just the
people
best coach in
can.
the NBA. Yeah, no, and that's just a team that's gonna be a pain in their ass, and hopefully they don't play him in the playoffs. But
Well, that's why it's all
and
about matchups too, Alex.
yeah,
Like,
it's true.
what does the would you like? Let me put it this way: would you rather be the 5 seed and play the Magic, or the 2 and play the Heat?
Play the Magic,
Right.
but be careful what you wish for. We did this last year when I'm saying
No,
my
I
guy
know.
Bam, and they beat the Bucks, and the Knicks
I
still lost
get
to
you
the Heat.
that, but it is about matchups.
It
The seeding
is.
is a little bit like a
But who's guarding
little less
Pancaro
irrelevant.
in a 7-game series? Who's guarding Pancaro if no OG's there? Is it Josh
No, it's
Hart? He's
tough.
gonna. Yeah,
No, it's tough. But I would
that's the
say
matchup. Yeah.
I would lean on that Magic has no playoff experience, and I do think that matters. And I think you go with Brunson, who's been through it now, Hart,
Mhm.
who's been through it, DiVincenzo, who's been through it. I mean, that to me does add a lot of value, and that
You
would
fall to
scare me for
6.
Orlando.
You fall to 6. You got a rematch with the Cavs.
That's
So
what I would love to see. I think as
that
a from my
and
perspective, would
honestly,
be really
yeah,
intriguing.
that would be. And the Cavs are either gonna step up and grab their balls and beat the Knicks, or they're gonna fold and blow the entire team up. They lose the Knicks again in the first round.
Right. I
This time
think
as the higher seed, like kind of a thing. So
would I have to be rooting? I wouldn't be rooting for the Knicks,
well,
but
they
I
were
guess
the higher seed last year, right? They were that, but it were
it
4-5.
Cavs were
Yeah.
the 4 last year.
Yeah. But this would be 3-6, and that's a little worse. That's
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. It does that. It
yeah.
doesn't matter. It's
Right.
3. But I mean, what's the? I guess it makes it all that it matters is that next is the Celtics or not.
What's scary is that the Sixers have a bunch of games left, and they got Embiid. They can go on a run right now and win like 5 of 7.
Yes, I had said this.
Yeah,
I
you
had
did,
said-
and that's what's so
I had
scary.
said this. I
Yeah,
had
you
said this
did.
to you on a previous episode when the Knicks beat the Sixers. Or
It's
maybe I
true.
said this to you in a text, and I was like,
Maybe.
yes, but if Embiid comes back, and I mean,
Nobody thought he was coming back, especially this fast. Is really what it comes down to, I think, because I didn't think so.
and that was one of those. Here he is. He's back.
Right.
That's
Well,
just the new
maybe. I mean, we're
NBA.
not inside Sixers. We're not Spike. We don't know what's going on with the Sixers on a daily basis. But so maybe there was more rumors. I don't know. But
I think after hearing the Embiid news, I think it should give, even though it's injuries and they're not
right.
they've nothing to do with each other. But I guess maybe in a weird way, it does give the Knick fan a little sense of hope because there's no more timetable. There's no more of this. It's just going to be, it's shock. Here he's back. We're
True.
back.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen anymore. So maybe, to play devil's advocate on my own point from before, maybe they're closer than we really think with Randall, but they're just not letting you know anything. And tomorrow, this podcast gets outdated right away. I mean, seriously, you never know.
Right. Right. Yeah, no, I mean, I understand that. And good news for Knicks fans, they do have the tiebreaker on the Sixers. They've won 3 of 4 from the Sixers this year. So don't have to worry about that if we tie the Sixers. So that's at least that's some insurance. And they have the tiebreaker on the Heat, who are 7 and 8 seeds. And they're only 3 games away from the Knicks. You know what I mean? It's just the Knicks could fall to 8 like really quickly. They could lose a couple games, and the Heat and Sixers go on a run here. Scary, man. Like,
well, that is the crazy thing is the Knicks are only 2 up on Miami for that play-in with 7 left. I mean, it's not impossible.
It's unlikely, but when you add an MVP to the roster, that's been there, like it's not like a trade. You've never seen him before. Man, that's scary.
I mean, it's not impossible. Like that would be the fear. I mean, that would be the ultimate fear is that the Knicks fall to the 7 and then have to play a healthy Embiid at the 7-8.
Can you imagine the Knicks were like 2 games away from the 2 seed the other day, like last week, and now they're going to fall to the 8 seed?
No, they're not falling to the. But
I'm just saying it's possible. Like,
but Alex, they're also only 3 back of the 2.
Yeah,
on the other direction. I mean, these teams are all little
glass half full kind of a thing, right?
Yeah, so they're all. That's why I said I don't think it matters 4-5 or 3-6. I think they're all kind of in the same.
Just
pot.
Get top 6, please.
Well, you don't want to be dealing with the play-in. I mean, I think that.
Yeah.
I mean, look at the Heat. Like, who knows? The Heat are so weird because last year they were dog shit, Then
Right.
they went to the finals and turned it on. It's almost as if they have the opposite approach of Tom Thibodeau.
Yeah.
Spoelstra is saying, I just want to get these guys healthy when it counts. I don't care
Right.
who we play. Let me get into the playoffs. I mean,
Mhm.
for them, let's say, for example, they beat the Heat last year. Excuse
Right.
me, they beat the Bucks last year. They're not going to be afraid to do it again. And they got Terry Rozier now.
Right.
They did all this without Tyler Hero. I mean, the playoffs are
Forgot
going to
about him.
be
Fuck.
the playoffs are
Yeah.
going to be up in the air. Anybody can do it. Don't be shocked. The only shock to me would be if the Celtics blow it. I mean, I would be very surprised by that.
Or if the Pacers
they
make a
can't.
run. I don't think the Pacers are good, but like, I think they're beatable. They're probably the most beatable team in that cluster of the Magic, Knicks, Pacers, Heat, Sixers. They're probably the most beatable team, in my opinion.
Least
But you never know.
experienced.
Least experienced.
That's what
Yeah.
it is. It's the
Well, not really. I
experience.
mean, they got Siakam. I mean, he
Outside
won a
of
title.
him,
Yeah. So Obi Toppin's experienced with the Knicks. He played.
yeah.
You know, they have some guys. I mean, who else is on that team? I can't even think of the
When they
team anymore.
lost, Mathern, right? He's out for the season.
Oh yeah.
That was a but
Benedict.
all these teams are dealing with injuries.
Worst name ever,
No
by the
teams
way.
are not having some sort of
Miles
ailment.
Turner has been in the playoffs. TJ McConnell has been around. They have some guys. It's just their star has never been in the playoffs, but he's the kind of guy in Halliburton who, is not going to be afraid of the moment. You would think.
You would think, but you don't know.
You don't know exactly. When the lights come on in the playoffs, Mike, anything can happen. And
Yeah,
the
it's all
series
jumbled.
doesn't start until the road team wins. So
Oh God,
your
I'm
favorite saying.
yeah. No, it's coming. It's coming,
It's
and
coming.
just they used to say when I worked at WFAN, they would go, Eddie Scazzeri would come over to me and he would go, happy when the Yankees would be eliminated. He would go, happy Yankees elimination day. We're here to celebrate. And I always remembered that because I was like, whatever. But now, like Nick elimination day, it's a holiday here.
It's gonna, yeah.
It would be a
But
holiday here.
what if OG and Randall come back next week and get a couple games under their belt before the playoffs? Then you never know. You never know.
Yeah, and they still could lose.
They still could, but they could win.
They could win.
But the good thing is that
Sports,
by next
winning.
year, the Knicks will be locked and loaded and ready to go. And there'll be a title. There'll be that exciting title favorite team. Maybe make another move to tweak here or there. Got some draft picks. See if they actually use them. You never know what can happen next season. They also have to pay OG Anunoby. They have no choice. Get out of here with this idea that they're just not going to pay him. You don't trade RJ Barrett and Emmanuel quickly and then not re-sign OG Anunoby, especially when they keep winning when he plays. He's just injured. I mean, I know he's been injured his whole career, but you have to pay him. Like, you have no choice. And Leon Rose's son is his agent, so I'm sure they already negotiated the deal. They know what the deal is. He's going to be on the Knicks next season. Just it's over.
It's not the same deal with the Devil because it's different. Because the Devil's different here. But when you traded for Kyrie and you had to go down that road, you can't make that kind of trade and then let OG
and say, forget it. See ya.
And if you sign him and he's always injured, then bad luck.
Right.
But if you don't sign him and he walks,
and he goes to the Nets, and then the Nets get Donovan Mitchell, and then they have Donovan Mitchell, Mikal Bridges, and OG Anunoby. I mean, that'd be scary.
Yeah, it's great. Six,
three guys that play the same position.
I've become you. I'm just like, okay,
fuck suck. This. Yeah,
it's hard, man. When you just they've quit on the team. They've quit.
Mm-hmm.
They're just terrible.
Right.
They are so bad. They are so bad. It sucks. What was your Knicks prediction record-wise? Did you say 47 or 48?
I don't know. Let me.
You're gonna be. You might get the number.
I'm pretty close, actually. Hold on,
because
I do it in the beginning of the year. I do it with on my Twitter account at Nick Central, and I'll find it in 1 second. Just say something.
I know what I said for the Nets. It was 41 and 41, and they would be improving towards the end of the season. That was completely incorrect. That was completely wrong.
You didn't have to double down on yourself.
Wrong.
Jeez.
Oh, I wanted to mention.
I said 46 wins. 46, I said, for the Knicks.
I'll take it.
46. Yeah. What are they at now?
44 and 31. Give me a little 2-5 spurt.
Oh, my God. That would be awful.
46 wins probably gets, if they get 2 and 5, you're flirting with the 6th seed.
Yeah.
You might be the 6th seed.
Oh God, that's rough. But it's
Knicks
definitely
Cavs
possible.
rematch. I do want to give Lee Valentin a shout out.
Mm-hmm.
He had a funny tweet after Deuce McBride's big games. He goes, "I hope you like Cleveland." It made me laugh. Connect the dots tweet. Love it.
Oh.
That made me laugh. I
And
thought that was
shout out
funny.
to also our president, Donald J. Trump. He's actually on a cruise right now, and he was texting me. He's like, "Can you give me updates on the Nick game because I am on a cruise and I have Wi-Fi, but I can't get on apps. I can only do iMessage." So I'm like, "Big 3 by Deuce," telling him the score at the end, down the stretch. I was like being nice.
He used to do that with me, but I guess those days are over.
Yeah.
Well,
No,
no,
he's a legitimate Knicks
to,
fan. He's
no, he
legitimate.
is. He is.
Yeah.
God bless him. Enjoy,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
Enjoy.
We did get a bang tonight from Mike Breen. Deuce McBride hit a 3 to get it to like 92-89 or something. And it was like, oh, okay, we got this. And then the floodgates opened.
I'm surprised you haven't brought up the Jalen Brunson. End with this: the Jalen Brunson not getting calls, and
Oh, the Windhorse thing.
the
talking about?
Windhorse thing, and I've been so tempted to quote tweet something, but I just haven't done it because I think it's bad karma. But it was like Brunson's not getting the calls, and I said I wanted to quote tweet you. Get stars, they'll get the calls or something.
Oh
like
my
that.
God, Knicks fans would kill you.
I know I wasn't in them, but it was
You
gonna
were
be
in them with the fight.
but it would have been like a joke, just because
Yeah, but
past
Knicks
history
fans, they don't know jokes. You know what I'm saying?
right?
Like,
And they don't know the podcast fully, so I understand that.
yeah.
But Kyrie did not get calls, and I said that on the show a ton. He never got the calls that I
Well,
thought.
he's not a very liked person or player,
Yeah,
which
but
is understandable.
Yeah,
yeah.
but I think one part, two, he's been amazing in Dallas. He's been great.
Until he gets hurt in the playoffs, like he always does. I mean, it is what it is.
Just keeping this real. He's done a really good job. You've heard nothing from him. The Mavs are playing great basketball. It reminds. It's just honest. I can't lie about it. I mean, he's done great.
It just reminds me of Michael Vick when he came back after the going to prison for the dog fighting and everything. When he came back to the Eagles and started playing well, he was never getting roughing the passer calls. He was getting tossed around, and the refs were not blowing the whistle, and it's just like they just didn't like him. And I think with Kyrie, it's the same thing. They just don't like him. They're human. I mean, it's just subconscious. You know,
I'm
just saying?
from watching the Nets.
Yeah.
I always thought Net fans. I was like, he's not getting a lot of calls. So I just think from the Brunson standpoint,
mm-hmm.
Even though Kyrie was a superstar, sometimes guys just don't get calls.
Except for that one time with the Knicks and the Nets and the dislodging of the ball. That was not dislodged.
That was dislodged.
The ball did not come out of his hands. Yeah. The ball did not come out of Randall's hands. Yeah.
At the end of the season. Not that it matters for the Nets.
It matters for you. You play spoiler, man. That's just a fucking spoiler. Big deal.
That's all. This is, people will tweet, "Hey, this is your Super Bowl." Yes,
and it would be. Can you imagine if the Nets beat the Knicks and it drops the Knicks to the play-in tournament? You would be like, okay,
of the fucking season, which would be so pathetic.
It would be, but I can understand how you would feel in that situation. You would be like, "Thank God we were able to do something and make the Knicks suffer." Yeah. I don't want that to happen, but that would be scary as hell, man.
Right. And all the pressure would be on the Knicks there.
Oh my God. Yeah. And the Nets would be jacked up for it if they even care. I mean,
I think that would maybe it's then Mikal Bridges when he goes on the roommates podcast and be like, "Oh, we put you in the room. We put you in the play-in episode 13." Yeah. That's actually, I hadn't thought about that, Alex. You gave me something to look forward to. Although what'll happen
why
is
do they play
going to go on a 5-game winning streak and they'll be the 2 seed and it won't matter.
Why did they play the Bulls 3 times in the last 7 games?
I was reading up on that, and it has to do with the New York-Chicago pizza rivalry. They wanted to really illuminate it.
Yeah. Okay.
I have no fucking clue. I don't know what to tell you. It's bizarre.
So the last 7 games, the Knicks are home to the Kings. They're at the Bulls. They're at the Bucks. They're at the Bulls. They're at the Celtics. They're home to the Nets, and they're home to the Bulls.
I don't know if this is something that's happening with all of the teams because it's the play-in
tournament. The play-in tournament bullshit screwed everything up. That's the only thing that can be quirky.
Well, what I was gonna say was in November, the Nets played the Heat 3 times.
Um,
So I don't know. Now it wasn't in a 2 week span. It was the entire month. They played them 3 times. So I don't know if this is something where, the Wizards randomly played the Hawks 3 times in December. I don't know if this is something that happened to all the schedules, but I know the Nets did play Miami 3 times in November. I don't know, but
that
it's
is weird. Yeah, the NBA is weird, and the Knicks played the Bucks 5 times this year, and that's great. You know what I mean? So whatever. It's
I
playing
hate
tournament sucked. It sucked. It was stupid. Nobody remembers the playing tournament. It was
nobody
just a
does.
waste of time.
It wasn't, but during the moment, people remembered it. But yeah, not now.
Nobody cares. It was fake excitement, like I said from the beginning. I take the W on that.
Hey,
I don't care what you say.
Alex, there's been times where there's been fake excitement, but you know what? As long as you just enjoy the excitement, you don't have to know it's fake.
Okay, sounds good. What is fake excitement? If you're excited, then you're excited, right?
Right.
It's
You
just
don't know. You don't know it's fake
that's
till
your point.
later. You don't know it's
I
fake till
just
later.
I just countered my own point.
Mhm. Yeah.
Just
Fake
shows
till
you can
current.
argue anything if you really want to.
Yeah.
That's what they do in law school. Argue this. Not
Yeah,
that
you
I
should do
know.
a law
I wasn't.
podcast. Flip a
Yeah.
coin, take the argument. Pick a
Yeah.
side. Bad Weather
Picks.
Fans, episode 214 in the books.
Mm-hmm.
Like we said before, check out the TikTok page, Bad Weather
At
Fans.
Bedweather fans. At Bedweather fans.
I had an idea for a Tom Thibodeau TikTok, but I couldn't figure out how to make it. So I'll talk to you in the post.
Well, that's a terrible tease.
I never said it was a good tease.
I got an idea, but it's
I'll
terrible.
tell you
So
about it. Any last words? You good?
I'm good.
You know who's the closer for the Yankees?
Clay Holmes?
I do too. Who's their shortstop?
Volpe. Actually, I have him fantasy. So
Oh, you doing baseball fantasy?
yeah,
Get the fuck
I
out
always
of
do.
here.
I always do. Yeah,
Ugh,
big fantasy
too much.
baseball guy.
Yeah, too much.
I love it. Gives me something to do in the summer when I'm just like, and instead of being on Twitter, I can like
well,
look at
that's
something
good.
else.
I like
Yeah.
that. I need to get you off Twitter.
That's
Yeah. All right.
what
It's Bad
TikTok's
Weather
doing.
Fans. Yeah, exactly. Bad Weather Fans 214.
Yeah.
We'll talk to y'all later. See you, Alex.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.